welcome to Season 6 of NSE FinWiz powered by CNBC TV18, and I'm your host Nitya Balakrishnan. This is the show where we teach you how to make your money work for you and multiply your wealth. All the tips for personal finance, and today we've travelled all the way to Chennai to one of India's leading IT companies, HCL Technologies in Chennai.
Founded in 1976, HCL Technologies is one of the world's leading information technology giants from India. To reimagine its business of delivering innovative technology solutions in the digital age, HCL operates out of 44 different countries and employs over 1.3 lakh professionals of diverse nationalities. With a focus on creating real value for its customers by taking relationships beyond the contract, HCL has managed to consolidate its revenues at around $8.4 billion. And today, NSE FinWiz, with its theme Invest in Yourself, Your Path to Prosperity, engages with the women employees of HCL Technologies in Chennai to help them understand the fundamentals of asset allocation and investing in equity.
Financial literacy personally means to me like how you plan for your career and how you budget it, invest it, save it and earn it.
Financial literacy means where to invest money and where to save money, where I can get the best returns out of it. All these things.
Financial literacy is a must-have knowledge for everyone who wants to manage their money at hand, be it for salaried or business people or housewives, students or whosoever.
Hello and welcome to Season 6 of NSE FinWiz powered by CNBC TV18, and I'm your host Nitya Balakrishnan. Today I'm in HCL Technologies campus here in Chennai, and with me are two very special guests. We have Harshvardhan Roongta and Kalpesh Ashar. Thanks so much for joining us on the show. And as you're aware, this season our core focus is investing in yourself, your path to prosperity. And let's begin the discussion with you, Kalpesh, and I'm just going to ask you, what is the big difference between saving and investing? Because everybody here works very hard for their money. But how do you in turn make your money work hard for you?
Saving is the first virtue everybody should have. But saving does not make your money grow. What makes your money grow is prudent and very appropriate investing. And the sooner you start investing from your savings, the better you are doing for your future. So I would simply say that saving is an emotion, whereas investing is action.
How do you decide how do I save, how much do I save, where do I save the money? Because in the next 3 years I might want a car, but 10 years later I might want a house, and my list changes. So how do you set goals for investing?
The first element is, of course, you need to save something out of whatever you're generating. So whatever income you have, first you saved some money. Now before investing it, you need to clearly articulate as to why are you investing it. What is the objective? Because there will be different products for different timelines. So if there is a goal which is only 1 year away, you will choose a different product than what you will choose if you were to invest for 10 or 20 years. The first thing before you actually start investing is to just jot down whatever you want your money to do. So you identify those. So you will note these down very clearly. This is identifying your goals. The next thing that you need to do after that is to quantify those goals. What does it mean by when we say quantify? I want to buy a television after 1 year which is likely to cost about 50,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees. So you're giving a value to that goal. Unless you give a value to that goal, you will be possibly way away from what you actually need to accumulate. And then the final stage would be when you choose the appropriate product for that particular goal. So if you're investing for 1 year, it could be possibly fixed deposits. If you're investing for 20 years, it will have to be equities.
Absolutely. Kalpesh, this is where I'd like you to jump in. What is the right age to start, parking aside funds for investment purposes? Because a lot of them believe they're saving. And talk to us about where are some of the asset classes that you could be parking funds at.
I think the moment you earn your first salary should be the time your investment should commence. And there should be no looking back. And it should be a progression. So if you say that from your first salary, if you decide to put in 5% as a token, because you want to enjoy it, give it to your parents, whatever you want to do with your first salary, it's your first earned salary. Set aside 5%, but then there should be a progression towards investments. If you have age and time on your hand, many of your long-term goals will be met very easily. And when I say very easily, it means that it is affordable, you are continuing with the lifestyle which you want to, and there will not be a strain on the existing lifestyle whilst attaining those goals. And secondly, what you asked, Nitya, was which asset classes you should be looking at. Simple answer to that is asset classes which have two features. One, which are easily liquidable, understandable by you, and most importantly, help you achieve your goal.
Absolutely. Harsh, a quick jump in here, and if a lot of them worry about investing into the equity markets, they say it's the fear of the unknown. They say they do not understand volatility and don't want to lose money. How would you have a quick piece of advice for the audience like that?
Every investment comes with some peculiar risk, whether you see it, whether you know it, or you don't know it. So if you look at a conservative investor who believes fixed deposits are the best investment and they carry no risk at all, well, there is a risk even in fixed deposits, and that risk is inflation risk. So what is inflation risk? Inflation risk in simple words is that if you're giving 100 rupees to a bank in a fixed deposit, after 1 year if you're getting 107 rupees in your hand, what you could buy with that 100 rupees today, after 1 year is going to be available probably at 110 rupees. Fixed deposits and debt investments are for objectives which are only about 1, 2 or 3 years away. Anything beyond that, you will need to beat inflation. The equity markets or shares would carry the default risk. I mean, it would carry capital risk. It would carry a lot of other things. But they do have a potential to beat inflation. What you need in your portfolio is a mix and match of everything. You cannot just invest only in fixed deposits. At the same time, you cannot only invest in equities.
Equity markets. Okay.
So what do you do to mitigate risk? Something that we've been learning since we were children, diversify. So if you have a mix of everything, something will give you something and the others will give you something else. So while fixed deposits will not beat inflation, equities will help you do that. Fixed deposits will give you capital safety in that sense, and equities could be volatile in that bracket.
All right, thank you for that. And on that note, it's time to slip into a quick break right here on this show. But stay tuned, because when we come back, tips on how to invest financially and make your money multiply. Welcome back. You're still with Season 6 of NSE FinWiz powered by CNBC TV18, and we're here at HCL in Chennai. And Harsh, let me ask you, talk to us really about new age investment tools, because that's what everybody wants to know. So when you talk about investing into the equity markets, what are some of the tools that you'd like to park money in?
Equity is one such asset class which has the potential to beat inflation. If you're looking to invest in equities but don't know how to go about doing it, mutual funds is the route for you. So you can approach an asset management company. They offer all kind of products for all investor types. The question is, you have to identify what is your risk profile, basis on which you select a particular scheme of that fund house and you start investing your money with them. And trust me, the most simplest of the products are the best investments to go for. Understand what you want to do, match it with the schemes that are on offer, and then invest in the scheme which suits your profile. I think that's the simplest formula.
Absolutely. And keeping it with simplest formulas, talk to us really about the systematic investment plan, or SIP. And a lot of people here really want to understand more about SIPs and how to go about investing in them.
So SIPs, I think, is the way which disciplines your investment. Here it is going into the right investment, but in a slow and gradual manner, and you don't even realize it, that it's moving from your bank account to the right desired investment or the mutual fund which you've marked it on to. Now how do you do that? Now when you say doing a SIP, it starts with as low as rupees 500. That 500 rupees can go up to any amount which, as per your cash flow, as per your income, is suitable for you. And it is not necessary it goes into one particular fund only. So you can have multiple SIPs. You can have 3, 4, 5 SIPs going into various funds. And what do those funds do? They have different characteristics. So if one fund is for your fixed income, that's where the security, so-called, little bit of more security is there. Then something in a balanced fund, which is a mix of equity and debt. Then you have the large cap segment. Then you have the mid cap and the small cap segment. So your, hypothetically, 1,000 rupees is going everywhere across the entire market categorization. And ultimately, how much is it going? 5,000 rupees. So if that 5,000 rupees is, say, 10% of your monthly income, and you've always budgeted for it, it's not going to give you sleepless nights. So SIP is the best way to get into the mutual fund space, decide how much amount you want, start with a small amount, start into a fund which is not risky. So that is very important. Don't go into the mid cap and the small cap segment in mutual funds, which is risky and which gives high returns and high falls also. Start with a balanced fund, start with a debt fund also, just to wet your feet, see how it is. So SIP is the way to go forward.
Harsh, is insurance an investment at all? And if so or if not, what is the kind of insurance that everybody should mandatorily have, and the best way to go ahead and...
Ideally, investments and insurance should not be merged, should not be clubbed together. Insurance is a mechanism which is to provide for any unforeseen events, and you should just pay a premium, and if something happens, the policy covers you towards those losses. If nothing happens, you just bid your money goodbye. I mean, you don't really expect anything back from an insurance policy. The ideal way to insure yourself in life insurance is term plans. So that is the only mechanism wherein you can get the right amount of insurance cover and even be able to afford it.
On that note, it's time to take some questions here. Let me begin with Maheshwari, who says, is it a good investment to put aside money in real estate?
First and foremost, when you are investing in real estate, we are assuming this is your second property, not your first one. If it's your first house, which you're going to use for your own self, then it is not an investment. The ticket size, whenever you buy any property, valuation is reasonably high. Even if you take it on a loan, the EMIs will almost be about 40 to 50% of your take-home salary. So you are, in practical sense, not left with anything else in your, to invest for. So you don't have any financial assets to invest into. So this is just one product that takes away all the liquidity that you have. There could be small pockets wherein real estate valuations could go 2 or 3 times. Now that's quite possible. But in general, if you just look at the the push of the government towards affordable housing, the supply that is in the market, very unlikely that the prices will go up 2 or 3 times in the next 4 or 5 years.
Thank you. There's Uma, who wants to know something that all of us would like to know if it's even possible. Uma asks, how does one live a loan-free life?
So we classify something as good loans and something as bad loans. Loans which you take or which you wish to have in your life should be the ones which are helping you produce assets. Bad loans are the ones which you would like to have to furnish your lifestyle. The interest rates of those loans also are higher than the home loan and the education loans. So if you have a home loan and an education loan which is between the range of anything between 8 to 10%, your personal loans start from 12% onwards. Please avoid those loans under any circumstances. I would say avoid loans for even investing in real estate for the second house. And surely if you are taking loans, also try to understand one thing, that your cash flow should not be affected.
Alright, thank you, Kalpesh. On that note, it's time to slip into a quick breather right here on the show. But when we come back, we have everybody here in HCL Tech ask questions to our personal finance experts, Kalpesh Ashar and Harshvardhan Roongta. But remember, you can also catch all the latest updates on our website, nseffinwiz.com, and do follow us on social media on Facebook and Twitter. The handle is @NSEFinWiz. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still with season 6 of NSE FinWiz here in HCL Chennai. I'm in conversation with Kalpesh Ashar and Harshvardhan Roongta. It's time for our audience to ask their questions to our financial experts. The lady in green in the second row, please.
I'm interested to get into the stock exchange. Like, what will be the first step I need to see around in the market to go into that, and how I can know like the things are happening in the market?
The first step would be to start looking at schemes that are being offered by mutual funds. As I said, being a first time investor, it's always better to go through experts, and mutual funds are those asset management companies. You have to pick up a scheme that suits your profile. So if you're planning to invest in equities, my suggestion to you is that you pick up an index fund to begin with. If you pick up an index fund, what you're eventually doing is that you're investing into the shares in the same proportion as they're forming a part of the index. So you pick up the Nifty, the NSE Nifty. So Nifty is an index of the National Stock Exchange. It comprises of 50 companies which are forming a part of that Nifty basket. The 50 large companies of the country. One of the best names that you would look around, those companies form a part of Nifty. Now, when you are investing your money in this Nifty fund, you are eventually investing in those 50 companies in the same ratio as they are forming a part of the index. If the markets have gone up, you have made money. If the markets have gone down, you have lost money for the day. The other advantage is that the fund management charge of an index fund is very low as compared to other different schemes, the actively managed funds that we're talking about. So for you as a new investor, my suggestion to you is, first, invest only that much amount that you do not need even in case of emergency. Invest only that much amount that you can stay invested for at least 10 years. Invest via systematic investment plan, invest every month, and choose an index fund to begin with. After a year or two, when you get very comfortable with it, when you start understanding what these products are, then you may add other different schemes into your portfolio.
Can we have the microphone to the lady in red in the second row there?
What will be the best investment plan for the one who is starting their career, and what will be the amount they have to think about it?
See, the best investment plan, I would say, is the one which helps you achieve your goal. When you set off on the journey of investing, I think one thing also you need to, take care of it on a parallel basis is insuring yourself, that is through a term plan, because there are people in your family who are dependent on your income also. Second most important thing is creating a contingency or an emergency fund. The simple reason is because you are in a job, if God forbid there is a job loss, then you need to set aside around 3 to 6 months of your expenses in an instrument which is easily liquidable within 24 hours. So which could be a bank FD or a liquid mutual fund. You could keep that money aside, that is not meant to generate returns. Once these two things are in place, you start your investment plan, like what you asked. An investment plan has to be done with a purpose. So if you have a purpose to be met in the next, say, 3 years, up to 3 years, the investment should be diverted into a product which is non-risky. So the answer there is, it could be diverted to fixed income product, debt mutual funds. You could create a recurring deposit, but on a conservative basis. If your horizon is long term, then obviously start a SIP as early as possible. The SIP also should be started with a conservative fund in equity also, index fund or a hybrid fund is the best way to look at it, and start investing around 10 to 20% of your monthly income and increase it as your income also grows every year.
Thanks for that. We have time for one final question, so if I can have the microphone to the lady in green behind, please.
So I have multiple goals at this stage. I just want to buy a new house, and simultaneously I have to invest some money for my child's education. Simultaneously, like, we have to be prepared for the pension plans. We have put in a fixed deposit. So I just want to get some suggestions like how we can go further.
What I recommend is that you approach a financial planner and you sit down, because when you're going to do a financial planning, it is not only relevant to what you have in fixed deposits and what you want to achieve. It is to do a lot with your cash flows. It is to do a lot with your risk profiling. So while we may say it is very good to invest in equities for long term, but what if you panic in just 1 or 2 years when the markets are volatile? Now, ideal product is something that matches your profile. What we will have to do is first quantify them as to, if you want to buy a house, what is the value of the house that you want to buy. Now, whether you can afford that value that you're looking at or not, there has to be some discussion on that. How much do you save for your children's education? What is the product that needs to go, be invested into? All this requires a lot of discussion. So what I recommend to you is that get a hold of a good financial planner and discuss all those details and then invest your money.
Thank you. And on that note, we're absolutely timed out on this episode of NSE FinWiz. Kalpesh and Harsh, thank you so much for joining us on the show. And all of you here at HCL, glad to have you on the show. Remember, you can catch updates of this on our website, nsefinwiz.com, as well as our Facebook and Twitter handles at NSE FinWiz. From the entire team that put the show together, goodbye and thanks for watching.
This program was very useful to me because after attending this program, I started believing in the power of small. And one more thing what I have learnt is saving is different from investment. And it's very comfortable to hear regarding stocks, mutual funds and equities. And I gained more ideas regarding the stocks and mutual funds. Regarding the investment plans, loans, I got many ideas regarding those things, and it changed my view regarding the mutual funds and stocks.
I think I've attended the show at the right time because very soon I'm going to start my career, and it was very helpful, like how to invest the money. No matter what, how much you make money, it's a small or a big amount, saving is very important.